Bonjour mes amis, hi guys, I hope you're having a good weekend. And let me humor you with some watch news. There's been a little scandal in the watch world. There's a new Seiko. We're going to talk about second-hand prices from a famous online dealer. But first, a little update from the ground, from Hong Kong, about the coronavirus. It's affecting the whole world. And the World Health Organization has finally declared a state of emergency, not because China can't handle the virus, as they say, but because they're afraid that other countries who are not as developed won't be able to fight it. Well, that's a big joke, and it's another organization bending over backwards for China because in December, doctors tried to ring the alarm about the virus which they had identified as another SARS. SARS was a big coronavirus in 2003 that killed many people and spurred widespread panic, especially here in Hong Kong. And those doctors were silenced by the police. They were arrested, and it took more than a month for Chinese authorities to finally declare a state of emergency right before the Chinese New Year. But it was too late, the damage was done, and that big migration of people for the holidays happened. And so now in Hong Kong, everybody's wearing a mask. We are asked to stay home as much as possible, don't go to work, work from home. And the problem is that there is an incubation period, and the Chinese New Year was ending mid of last week, so I think the number of cases is gonna be exponentially multiplied in the coming few days. So wherever you are, be careful. Here people think they are safe wearing a regular mask, while really, like here the CEO for example, while really what you need is a well-fitted surgical mask, and even that, you have to change it every time you use it. You can't remove it at all when you go out. You can't touch your eyes, can't touch anything without washing your hands. So really the mask is, there's a widespread panic here about the mask situation, and all sorts of craziness, people buying up all the masks and selling them at a premium. I mean, it's just really a lot of disgusting things happening. We've even heard that some companies were recycling used masks, using the street sweepers to collect masks discarded in trashes, all sorts of madness. So there you go. So far, Hong Kong has been pretty okay. We still have a normal life in most of it. But everybody's on their guards, and the hospitals are threatening a strike if the government doesn't stop letting mainland people coming into Hong Kong, because it's just a huge threat for them. And back in Wuhan, you might have seen on YouTube some disturbing videos from doctors and nurses saying that they're completely out of protective gear, and officials are rushing to create quarantine hospitals over there, and people get quarantined here in Hong Kong, in the UK. You get the picture. It's pretty nasty. So I hope you guys are safe where you are, and hope we'll see how it goes in Hong Kong in the coming days. Now let's get down to watch news. Big news, but all is relative in comparison. But many of you might be subscribers of the Horology House YouTube channel and the Instagram and Twitter accounts. And you might have noticed that everything is gone, or you can't comment anymore. So what happened is that Chris Essery, the guy who you see in this video, actually this video talking about fake versus real Rolexes, has been caught not only selling fake Rolex, but really running big scams, not on one, but now that one has come up publicly with the story, other people are coming up with their own stories So apparently for months now, this guy who everybody thought was, really a genuine watch nerd like us, actually he happens to also be the admin for the Australian watch buy, swap and sell Facebook group, and either himself or in cahoots with the other admins, he's been scamming people for months on luxury watches. So basically, he was using the old trick of the fake tracking number. Something that happened to me one time, actually buying from Australia, and the guy is operating from Australia. I was buying a guitar on a famous guitar website, reverb.com, and the price was just a bit too good to be true, but it was an unusual guitar, so I thought, yeah, maybe the guy doesn't know what it is. And as soon as I got the tracking, I knew something was wrong. It wasn't working, and I had to dig, with the Australian Post, and we found that it was just the tracking for an old parcel that was sent locally, nothing to do with what I had ordered. And I managed to get my money from PayPal, thankfully. But this guy, the way he operates, not only he does that, but he gets paid through wire, so people can't get their money back easily. And so what he would do when he gets called on it, he pretends, oh, I'm the guy from Horology House, it's all good. I don't know what's going on with the tracking and blah blah blah. And then he says, oh, I'm gonna call up for the insurance, and then oh, don't worry, I'll get you another watch. I have to source it from Europe, and then those watches go missing at the customs, they get taken. I mean, a huge story. And if you want to read the full thing, all credits go to the Rolex forum. So if you just type in Google Horology House fake Rolex, it will take you to that Rolex forum where you can read the whole thread. And I don't mean to pile on a guy who made one mistake. It's really a very elaborate scam, and it's very strange. He's probably has a mental problem, because no matter how long the discussions with the buyers, he always seems to stay very poised, like some kind of psychopath. So in the end, he sent fake Daytona, which, for the guy who is the champion of the macro lens and has made a video comparing in very detail a fake with a real Rolex Submariner, I think it's quite ironic. And he sold a fake Daytona, and the guy had all the trouble in the world to get his money back. He was caught, and the thread is I don't know, 15 pages long, but there's a couple of guys coming with the whole story of what they had to endure with him. We're talking about 3 months to get refunds, because what he does is he gets money from one guy to refund the other guy that he has scammed before him. So it's sort of a rolling credit that he's keeping, and probably hoping that someone down the line is gonna give up trying to get his funds back. Also, he's forcing everyone to be quiet, not to talk publicly about it, and if they do it on the Facebook page, then they get banned, and all the posts get deleted because he's the admin. It's a very elaborate thing, but that must be taking him hours and hours to keep his reputation. But now it's too late. The cat is out of the bag, and he's completely vanished online. He's anyway, you can read the whole story. It's a bit sad, but it's a word of warning for you. Even if you think you know the guy, if there is something that looks odd about the way of shipping, about how the money has to be transferred, anything that looks weird is usually a sign of a scam. And I've been lucky. Usually I've seen the scams coming pretty quickly when I bought stuff online, but you never know, it could happen to you. Now that's why some people turn to big online dealers like the WatchBox, because they feel more comfortable dealing with that kind. Now let me tell you something about the WatchBox. If you want to sell your watch, they will give you half retail. and then they're going to try to sell it at a premium compared to retail. Case in point, the Tudor Black Bay GMT. There's one that just arrived in stock here in Hong Kong. They send an email to their mailing list about it and about other watches. And I look up the price, and it's 38,000 Hong Kong dollars. So that's almost 6,000 US. 35% above the current going rate for a slightly barely used watch. And anybody who opens the Carousel app or the Facebook app marketplace can find plenty of these, because now the watches have finally become available in the shops, and it's just too many on the market. Many people try to sell them back here in Hong Kong because they're just too big for Asian wrists, or maybe because they just bought them trying to flip them, and it just didn't happen. So as much as I like the WatchBox shows run by Tim Mosso, I think he's taught everybody a lot about high horology. Their business model is really preying on the credulity of some people, some customers, and also the fear of some customers of buying a bad watch from a bad seller. But when you're buying a Tudor Black Bay GMT, it's not going to be more than 2 years old, and you'd be very unlucky. And they're all still under warranty. What I also hate about that website is that they never ever talk about the condition of the watches, but if you try to sell to them, you're going to have to give every possible detail. Not only that, but the website is really difficult to use. I really found it just drove me crazy, and getting in touch about your watch is equally frustrating. So there you go. That was a word of warning about the WatchBox experience. Now there's a new Seiko coming out, the King Turtle as it is dubbed. It's the limited model SBDY049. So it's an upgraded turtle with ceramic bezel, sapphire crystal, a different type of bezel knurling. It's pretty cool. It's got a Cyclops, it's got the old movement 4R36, it's a day-date movement. And Bruce Williams made a video about it, and he gets his watches from a Japan online store. Now, talking about buying watches, don't rush into it, because a little Google search found me another website called Sakura Watches, which is offering the same watch for 25% less already. So no rush with those limited editions. I've seen them come and go for every model of the Prospects range, and with Seiko, they're never gonna stop. It's gonna go on and on and on and on. So if you love this watch, I think it has a beautiful cool dial with the pattern of a grenade. I'm sure they're gonna come up with different colors. There's probably a grenade color actually. That would be quite nice. The specs are good, but it's not a $900 watch or 800. You know how the Seiko trend is going, pushing up the prices, but frankly a ceramic insert doesn't cost that much, and neither does sapphire crystal. So there you go, you've been warned. It's still a cool watch, so it's up to you. Alright guys, lots of warning in this pretty serious video. Have a good week. Bye bye.